Hi Virgo, welcome to my channel. My name is Kim. Today, Virgo, you guys got 42, Outer Spirit, you are never alone. I feel like with this coming up, you might be feeling a little bit lonely, right? And it's okay because we all feel like that. It's a natural thing to feel. But I would say those moments that you wish you had someone around or you wish you weren't alone, I feel like I'm talking to someone who's single. Just know that you're not going to be alone forever, right? You're not. And, sometimes we get into this mindset where we play like a victim. But honestly, I feel like sometimes we have to be alone because we have to learn things. We have to go through like the journey alone at times for a specific reason. And for right now, if you're alone, then just understand that it's for a reason, right? Like, let's just say you're really busy, right? Like, you wouldn't have enough time to really give to a relationship, right? Or if you did put time into a relationship, it would maybe hurt other things in your life, like your business, like school, whatever it is that you're going through at this time. So I feel like there's times for the journey that we have to be alone. And I feel like with this card coming up, it's a symbol that you're not going to be alone for much longer, to be honest. But I feel like you have to appreciate the time alone so that you can, when you move into a relationship, you're not dependent, right? So it's an important time in your journey. Don't look at it as like, wow, this part of the journey sucks. Like, it's not like that, right? It's for a reason, and it's okay to feel lonely sometimes. It's really okay. But, the time that you're learning to be alone, I think is very important because you don't want to be a codependent partner, right? So let's pull some cards on this, Virgo. So Virgo, I feel like I see the message really clearly here today. I don't even need to clarify, to be honest. What I'm getting, Virgo, is that the reason that I feel like you've been stalled a little bit in love is because when it comes to love, Virgo, do you feel like you put others in front of you? Right? Like, that's what I'm getting here with the Seneschal in reverse, right? It's like the loyalty that you display to yourself. Like, there's a lot of things that happen in relationships, and I'm not even saying like this is your fault. Sometimes, we learn shit from our parents. We learn things from, everything's subconscious. Like, we learn things from our siblings. We learn things, and they're not necessarily the right things, right? So I feel like here, when it comes to relationships, you do get out of balance. You do kind of forget what you know. And I feel like for others of you, you put others in front of you, right? And that is what the block is right now. So I feel like they're stalling you. Like, I see you have a lot of desires. I see that you have a lot of, you want to be intimate with someone, you want to have like a relationship. But what I'm getting with this is like, if you're going to let it take over your life and bring in balance, and, you're going to meet someone who's going to let you, you're going to meet someone who you're going to put in front of everything that you're doing. Like, okay, so you're like, oh, I don't care if I have a test today, I'm gonna go be with that person. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I don't care if I have this today, I'm gonna go be, do whatever that person wants me to go do. Oh, they need a ride, like, I don't care what I'm doing, like, I'm gonna drop everything and go see them. Like, that's the energy that I'm getting here, right? And I feel like, Virgo, I don't think you mean to be this type of person, but I think sometimes, like, this is just the reality, right? Like, this is the shit that you've learned that you have to kind of like unlearn. And I think that's why they've been stalling this person, because I do see a soulmate coming here, right? I do see a soulmate coming. We have the King and the Queen of Coins with the Six of Cups, with the Page of Cups. So it could be someone coming back to apologize to you. It could just be someone who is younger than you. I do see like a true pair though, right? And they are a soulmate, but it's when you're able to kind of realign yourself. So this is for someone who, when you make choices in love and when you're with a person in love, you don't make like the best choices. That's what I'm getting here. Like, you always put them in front of you. You let things that you're passionate about go by the wayside. So let's just say, again, I get someone who's like in school who like doesn't do well in class, right? Because they're like hanging out with their boyfriend, right? Or like, I get this vibe of someone who, will drop anything to go help somebody like this person. Meanwhile, like they're busy themselves. Like, oh, I have a test tomorrow. I can't hang out with you. I'm sorry. Instead of saying that, it's like, oh yeah, I can hang out with you, then I'll fail my test. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm getting like a younger person, but I think it's just, if you're not young, like a young person, I feel like, what does that mean, a young person? I don't know, like you're not in college basically, and you're just a little bit older, you would assume that you're wiser, but I feel like, unfortunately, we have to unlearn these behaviors that, they ruin I feel like they don't end up ruining the relationship, they ruin your end of life, right, Virgo? So like, again, if you have a job, if you have whatever you're putting a lot of work into, I feel like you let it go because you're like so enamored by a person, you want to be with that person. I feel like it's really childlike energy that's like, I want to be with you, I'll do anything to be with you, right? And it's just like running full speed ahead into a relationship. But you can't lose yourself, Virgo. Like, that's what I'm getting for whoever this is. Like, the choice has to always be you. The choice has to always be you. And when it comes to a relationship, I feel like you give in more to your emotions, right, and your desires than anything else. So I feel, again, like this, it's like, it's unhealthy in the fact that like you could lose a lot doing this. Right, so like if you're a student in school, you could fail a class, right? That would be pretty shitty, right? If you're not a student and you're someone who's a little bit older, then it's like there is more to lose, right? It's not like just failing a class, right? It's like you might lose something more valuable, right? So I feel like this is what they want you to learn, because there is someone coming in. There is someone coming in. But I feel like they just want to make sure that when this person comes in, you're ready, right? Like, so maybe this is the past energy that you've had to work on and you've been working on it for a really long time. Like, you're aware of it. Like, I feel like this goes two ways. For younger kids, for people who I feel like are in college or like in their 20s, I feel like this is something you're just beginning to realize about yourself. And for others of you, you've known this behavior and you've been trying to correct it, but it's like part of you. Like, you do kind of lose yourself in love. And I feel like it's a beautiful thing to get lost in love. Like, who doesn't want to get lost in love, right? But again, it's about choosing. It's just about making the right choices. So just be careful, Virgo. Like, I think that that's what this reading is really about. You do have someone coming in and they just want to make sure that you're ready. You know what I mean? They just want to make sure that you're going to give time to yourself, and you're going to make sure you choose yourself always, right? So you're not going to have any losses. You're not going to like I see here with the wisdom in reverse, it's shit that you know, but you just don't care. Again, you just want to lose yourself. And I get that. I really do get that. But for those of us who have already known about this behavior and been trying to work through it, I feel like what this relationship will come when you have really mastered that, or when you feel more confident in the fact that you won't lose yourself, right? For a lot of you guys who are younger, I feel like you might have to go through this, right, a couple of times, honestly, because I learned everything the hard way. So I would have had, I don't learn things the first time usually, unfortunately. So I feel like, you might have to go through this a couple of times to really understand what is it about when I get into a relationship that I choose like the other person and not myself, and I make bad choices about like the way things are going down, right? So again, just always choose yourself, Virgo. Just be in balance. It's all good to get lost in love, but with this soulmate, I feel like you have to be real about your own life and always prioritize yourself. And I feel like that's the only way this like true soulmate's gonna come in, right? When you truly learn the lesson and you're truly balanced and you're gonna make decisions based on what you need and what you want, and you're not gonna put someone else's needs in front of you. You're not gonna let passion and desire, mess up your life, right? And that's what they want. They want you to be loyal to yourself before this person comes in. So yeah, it's a beautiful read, Virgo. I just feel like it's a tough lesson. I think you can look at your parents or look at people that you know that are in relationships, and like some people have a really good dynamic where I feel like I know two ends of the spectrum, right? Like people who give everything to the person that they want, and sometimes you give them things that you shouldn't really be giving them. And then to the other end of the spectrum, we have people who don't give each other anything, and they completely like have a boundary around them, but it's not really a relationship, right? It's like, okay, like You know what I mean? It's like the opposite. So you want to reach like the middle, where it's like you're not giving somebody every single thing, you know, like especially shit they don't deserve. And you're not giving them on the other end of the spectrum, you know, how can I explain the other end of the spectrum? Like people who are very stoic and like don't give anything to each other, right? Because they don't trust each other, or they, you know, it's all about me at the end of the day. Like you don't want that either, right? That's a selfish energy where it's like, it's all about me, right? And it's like, I don't care about this relationship. Again, like both ends of the spectrum are not good, right? You might see somebody who's on one end of the spectrum who, you know, they don't give anything to their relationship. It's all about themselves. They're very selfish. I don't get that here, Virgo. You're not selfish at all. And that's the problem, I think. You have to be a little bit more selfish, like a little bit more like, okay, so like, what do I need in this relationship to make it work? If I'm not getting what I need, then why be in this relationship? That's another thing I'm getting. Like, you can't just be with someone because you want to be in a relationship, right? Like some people are not good people. And I feel like a lot of the younger people I'm talking to, you're going to be in relationships with shitty people until you realize that you deserve more. So again, there's a lot of ways that this can go, but I feel like at the end of the day, for those of you who have known this about yourself and are working on it, I do feel like the soulmate is coming in soon. And for those of you who are going to have to run through this lesson a couple of times, you know, remember what I'm telling you, like who is it that you're dealing with, right? And do you give yourself enough respect, and do you give yourself enough love, and are you choosing yourself, right? Because that's the way that this like true soulmate will come in. When you're true to yourself and you love yourself and you believe in yourself and you know what you're worth, and you're not gonna like just give them everything that they want, right? Because like that, like again, this reminds me of a Cardi B line, which is so funny. But she says like, guy's only gonna do what you allow. So I feel like there's one end of the spectrum where there's girls that like just allow anything, right? And they don't know how to say no. So I feel like that's the younger, right? And again, I don't think there's anybody on this side who's very, very selfish and just does everything for themselves. I think you might meet people like that who are very selfish and you're giving them too much. So again, like be careful, Virgo. Let's pull some advice. Yeah, so I feel like you have two divine feminines coming out. I feel like the reason you have two, Virgo, is like we usually get one, but the reason you have two is because it depends where you are in the learning stage, right? But I feel like you are probably not a person who understands when it comes to love, right? There's a lot of people who don't play fair and who don't have your best interest, and that's something you don't get, right? Because I feel like with the High Priestess coming out, that's something you're gonna have to learn. Like this is a learning experience, so don't feel bad, but like you're gonna have to learn that there's people that want to be with you and they don't really have your best interests at heart. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh yeah, I really want to be with you, and it's more of like, what can I get out of this person? And that's something you don't get because you're not like that at all. So you have to be careful, Virgo. This is like a 3D lesson, right? Wherever you're from, or like you might be an old soul and you just don't get this, right? Because like you would never do this to another person. So you're coming from such a good place, and that's why I feel like this is a shitty lesson, but it's a 3D lesson. That's what I'm getting. It's a 3D lesson because there are so many people in this planet that are like low vibe and trying to just take anything that they can get, you know, from you. And let's say you have a car and, you know, you have like money, right? And they're like, oh yeah, buy me lunch. Oh yeah, can you pick up this food? Oh yeah, can you give me a ride here? Like these are for the younger people. I feel like it's like, you know, they're just taking advantage of you. Like I don't want you to get taken advantage of, but I feel like you might just have to learn this lesson. So with Enheduanna, the High Priestess, I am one with my soul, and my soul is a legacy of love. I feel like this is you having to learn how to decipher that. Like your High Priestess, that third eye, that feeling that you get that someone might be taking advantage of you. It's like, are you throwing yourself into a relationship just to not be alone, right? Like for what? Why do you think that you need this person? This takes a long time to like understand, but it's like you'll learn one day that it's better to just be alone than to be in bad company, right? And that's why I feel like the High Priestess is coming out. Like you're gonna have to learn how to decipher the 3D, and the 3D sucks. So just be prepared. But it's better to be alone than to be in bad company, you know? And with Green Tara, the Buddha of enlightened action, my soul informs my every step. I do what my heart compels me to do. I feel like there will be this love that you can be yourself in. But again, that's with this person I feel like coming up. where, you know, you give as much as they give and you receive as much as they receive, and it's a very equal, balanced thing. But this comes at the end, right? After I feel like a lot of you guys might have to go through some bad relationships to understand what an actual equal give and take is, to actually understand what like a soulmate really is, you know? But yeah, even a soulmate can be a person like a karmic. A karmic is like exactly what might happen to you guys, right? Like the first time around, it might be someone who just takes, and it, you know, you have to choose yourself, and that's the karmic lesson, right? Choosing yourself. So I feel like for a lot of Virgos I'm talking to, you're gonna meet like two types of soulmates probably, and one of them is going to be someone who takes everything, doesn't give anything in return, and you're going to have to learn to choose yourself, because that person is not worth your time, right? So that's, again, the high priestess coming out to, and it's to protect your heart, right? Because you're, again, the most important person in this whole situation. So I definitely feel like love will be coming for you guys, but again, it's like after this lesson. So yeah, Virgo, I love you guys. I hope that this helps, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.